Greg Ryan, as the car sang, let the good times roll. Another win for the development side.
Yeah, it was a really good win today. I thought they held their own against a very good Preston side.
The talk that everyone's been focusing on, trying to get some of our senior players back. We know we've had Valenti out, Pinwall out, Miles Pitt out. The good news is Hugh Sandiland's having his first run round in a while.
Yeah, Sandiland's today, and yesterday Tommy Johnston had a run round for Noble Park in their seconds.
So it's good to see that hopefully soon we'll have Tommy Johnston back, who's had, unfortunately, quite a number of injuries over the last few years.
Yeah, it was good to see him get through because he'd had nearly 2 years out with that Achilles.
So hopefully the dream may come true one day of a senior squad of Johnston. We should talk about Buddha Johnston, skip for today, and really pushing for senior selection.
My word, he's been a bit unlucky with an injury that held him up when he was ready to be picked, but he was back to very good form again.
Let's talk about some of our tools, particularly in the forward line. Chris Prowse and Happy Hammond in that third quarter, just plucking them out of midair. Yeah,
and Whelan as well. So Prowse is a big, and Hammond is big on ability, and Whelan's been very good as he's come across from Frankston this year.
And as you talked about to the boys in the post-match, you rated it as the best win of the year. You're really happy with the way they're playing footy.
Yeah, look, I think they're sticking to what we want them to do and where we're going. So all looks good for plenty of players pushing up for senior selection.
And of course, next week we have Casey finally back at the House of Pain, back at home at Northport Oval.
And I know we're all looking forward to getting back to Northport and a Saturday game for something completely different as well.
Reggie, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Pete.
Gary, I guess 4 words describe it. The Borough are back.
Well, it was a big challenge because the Northern Blues are sitting on top of the ladder. So our next fortnight are the Blues today and obviously Casey next week. So Pete, for us to actually take a step forward last week against Sandringham, and our form keeps stacking up that it's not too bad when Sandringham beat Werribee. So whether we're back or not, we're actually back on the winner's circle, and that's obviously a great testament to the guys that are extremely resilient. But we said about trying to conquer what we probably haven't been able to do, and that's actually put everything together as a team. And I reckon we've been playing spasmodically individually, and there's been big efforts by some guys, but today I thought it was a very, very good team effort. Probably one of the best we've had for, I reckon, about 18 months.
The forward structure having to be changed early. Dean Galea with an injury after 2 goals. Am I correct? Possibly a dislocated shoulder?
Yeah, well, that's what they're talking. So he's in hospital as we speak. So I'm not sure what the diagnosis is. Hopefully it just went out, and of course it can come back in pretty easy. But we'll see what happens when the dust settles tomorrow, and hopefully he'll be right to play next week.
That sort of changed the forward line. The key target in the end becoming Ryan Gale.
Yeah, well, Ryan, we actually put him forward in the second half last week, and I thought he was instrumental in actually getting us to at least draw, and he just carried that form on today, and he's such a mobile, athletic forward, and I thought today he was absolutely terrific.
And Charlie Woodley seems to keep on keeping on from suburban football to the VAFA and now into the VFL. Seems to be at home and natural in the senior squad.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, Pete, because he's actually been challenged. He hasn't played a lot in defence anyway, and we've actually tried to set him up there, try and get a bit of confidence. He's got good run, he generally got good poise, he uses the ball reasonably well, makes good decisions. So perhaps now that we've sort of been down a little bit in personnel through the middle of the ground, we can actually work him in there. So, but no, he's certainly been able to be mature enough to handle that responsibility, and we're very pleased with his efforts so far.
Key number you talked about in the post-match, 82 tackles today.
Yeah, well, we haven't had that for a long, long time, mate. So I think our training form was good this week, and we've done a few things differently. We freshened the guys up, and we just got the absolute maximum result. Plus our development team won again today, so that's 4 out of 5 wins for them. So the internal pressure that we want for positions is well and truly on.
Sam Fleming keeps on keeping on, and now with some help from Toby Thulam back from injury.
Yeah, no, I thought Toby was real solid and strong for us back there. He gives a contest, and we need that bigger type body because they had guys of the ilk of Casbolt, Jared Waite, Mitchell, and they've got a lot of drive through their middle and across half back, so we're able to curb a fair bit of that, although it probably looked like it was going to be a bit of a shootout from time to time. But out here, we generally play well. The guys came here in a very good frame of mind, and it showed.
And as we look ahead to next week, the stage couldn't be any bigger. It's the last game before the bye with the state game weekend, coming up against the top side, but the first game back at the House of Pain, back at Northport Oval.
Yeah, well, we'll take that, Pete. We've been away far too long, so it's great to actually finally get back on our home deck. It's almost like the old travelling Wilburys. We've been away for that darn long, but I think it's 9 or 10 weeks, so it is what it is. And now we've got to get back to our stronghold and make it very difficult for Casey on Saturday.
And Gary, just before we let you go, putting on your state coach hat just for the moment, who out of the Borough squad looks to be in contention for getting the big V?
I'd certainly say Batsy, Nathan Batsanis, Fleming, Kane, Baird, Scaponi probably. Dean would have been under consideration depending on what happens with his shoulder. So Skip's been very, very good for us in the ruck. So I think there's some extremely talented players. Did I say Chris Kane, did I? So I'll say it again, Chris Kane. And we'll just see how everyone obviously fronts up in the next fortnight. So we've got selection on Tuesday and we'll have a look at the preliminary squad from there on in.
Gary, thanks for your time and well done.
Thanks, Pete. Great to be a winner.
Borough TV is a Port Melbourne Football Club production.